All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just got to a point where I'm able to read what is being provided under this dismissal by this terrorist of the United States District Court. And that's what I'm going to call them from now on. This domestic terrorist right here, calling herself a United States District Judge. She's a terrorist, a domestic terrorist, y'all. Let me make this very clear to you. Under the supreme law of this country, every citizen has a right to address their grievances and to file a complaint and be heard in a Supreme Court. That's not what's happening in America today, y'all. You know, this shit is getting out of hand with these domestic terrorists we have running our court system. Okay? Okay, this woman, I'm not even going to give her honors no more. This woman needs to be removed from the bench. She's in cahoots with, she's a whore. She's selling her soul out to the highest bidder of these defendants that come before her, especially when they're government officials. I'm reading over this memorandum that she wrote up, or I don't know who wrote it up, but I want y'all to just read what she's writing and the lies. You don't even come into court, so what the fuck am I paying $400 for when you just take the money and you don't even allow anybody to come into court and be heard on this shit? You know, this shit right here is ridiculous, y'all. But they in cahoots with these motherfuckers. And this is why people are getting to the point, fuck justice and the justice system. You know, I don't feel sorry for when these mothers come out here now and commit criminal acts. I really don't, because we have a corrupt judicial system that has become a whore. They have their eyes wide open. You just extorted $804 from me, and I didn't even get a chance to come in and be heard on my grievance. And as you see the recordings, they're legitimate grievance. But because we have a corrupt system, the first $400 is that the clerk of the court took all the affidavits and all out of the jacket and say that I never served these people, even though you saw me in a recording serving these people. Now, because I kept calling, asking what is going on with my case, as though they were gonna, I guess it's some kind of time lapse if you don't know, no movement or whatever. They decided to dismiss the case the 30th of last month. I done called several times to the clerk of the court trying to find out what the fuck is going on with my case. And I guess they saw that I wasn't going away, so they got this terrorist to dismiss it. But we already knew this was going to happen. It's not even about that. It's about these individuals extorting money from free people and not giving them the service that they are asking for. If somebody's paying money for a service, they should be brought into court and be heard on their lawsuit. Not letting a corrupt, and I made it very clear, I don't want one person to decide my case. So why is it that this person is deciding my case? And the funny thing is about it is this, y'all, and I showed y'all this in my recording. I sent them the body cam footage of these dirty officers in Tacoma Park. I sent them a motion of me requesting a jury trial. Okay? And the documentation where the judge denied me the jury trial, y'all. told me I wasn't entitled to a jury trial. But that's okay. That's what this is all about, y'all. That's what this is about with the judges in Maryland and on Capitol Hill and to the Department of Justice. This isn't over with. It's just starting. Believe me when I tell you that. We already knew that they were going to do this. So, that's just how corrupt these individuals are. But again, we're going to go over this. I'm just reading over this, y'all. But now you get to a point where, like I tell a lot of people that I come in contact with, there's going to be a civil war over here in this country because people are getting tired of this. They really are. They're getting fed up. We're over there messing around in the Middle East when we got terrorists right here in our own country. Seriously. Look at here. I'm not inserting anything. I'm telling you, and I'm showing you evidence where my constitutional rights were violated. And then we get a dirty judge who is a prostitute who's shaking hand and corrupt with these individuals, the judges, the prosecutor. It ain't over with. The next time I'm going to have some people from the next filing, y'all, we're going to have people from Capitol Hill come down with us just to get an eyewitness of shit that's going on. We setting it up right now. But look, upon the 4th, 6th, 8th, and 14th Amendment, you guys saw the incident. Okay? Look at here. Constantly coming into our branch. I have never been inside of Enterprise. But this is the corrupt shit that they write up. This isn't what was written up on the... They say I come onto the property. Never been onto the property. But I have never been inside of Enterprise, y'all. Calling somebody a fat bitch, when was that a crime? Here you go talking about I'm waiting for somebody at 5 o'clock. You right. I said that. Is that a threat? I wanted him to throw the apple at me when he get off from work. I'm the wrong person you want to do that to. I'm letting you know that. So 5 o'clock come, throw an apple at me then and watch me beat the shit out of your ass. Make no mistake about that. And I'm to the point now, fuck the law. I'm to that point. Fuck the law. And the only reason I ain't broke the law yet, because I made a promise to my queen that I wouldn't do nothing while she's still alive. But, pray that she continues to live and be the light in my life, because I try not to go back to my old ways of being very ruthless. And I can be ruthless. So, make no mistake about that. But look at here. Let's get back there. He has been coming back to the branch every single day to take videos of us and our staff. Is that illegal? Show me something that is illegal that I did for you to arrest me. But you saw the video. How they try to conspire to get me to do a disorderly. First of all, a disorder is you stopping progress or movement of a free person in a public area. That never happened. See, these people don't even know what their own law is. They make it up from the bench, and then they get these whores who sit up on the bench, who makes all this money, who don't even know the law, because these people do what they want to do because these whores back their play. And we got to get rid of them. You know, it's just like this whore, the county executive for Montgomery County. I mean, not Montgomery County, Prince George's County, talking about she want to be a state senator when she's already taking money. Look at the commercials. And then you got the ex-governor doing the same thing. Now look at here, free people. You telling me all of a sudden you guys knew about this when she ran for election? Bullshit. You knew she was doing it before then. You knew she was doing it before she even ran for. If she never ran for the Senate seat, you would have never heard nothing about her cutting on taxes, raising all kind of bullshit. This shit goes on with all these crooked people. And we got to get rid of them. Every time in this whole election here, we should get rid of everybody in government and push fresh people in government to run our country. Fresh people will run our judicial system. This judge here, I mean, a piece of garbage. A piece of garbage. And we're gonna run her total background. Piece of garbage. Because when she sent back the recordings of the police body cam footage, I already knew what we were going to run into. And then when you keep calling the clerk's office trying to find out what is going on with your case and they never return your call, we already knew that they were going to dismiss the case. See, they played their hand by doing that. Okay? When we ask for a ledger of what is taking place in this, then this is the funny thing, free people. The address, this address is an address that I got made up to make sure all legal documents come to this address. I get legal documents from all over the place. And it's kind of funny that there are certain response from this corrupt court that they claim they couldn't deliver to this address. But certain documents, just like this dismissal grant, and I don't care nothing about y'all looking at it because it ain't my address, but it's an address where legal documents go, and then an affidavit is made, and then they give it to me. Okay? So I don't touch it. I touch it, say the third time, from the clerk, well, fourth time, to the clerk, to the United States Postal people, to the person who picks it up at this address, and then they give it to me so that they can't say that they delivered and I may throw it away or whatever. But they say it was returned to them because this address doesn't exist. Then how did I get this document this time? This is the bullshit that is being written up in the transcripts or the ledger of this case. Pull it and see. You can see for yourself. Oh, undelivered. How the fuck do you get something undelivered or returned when some mail goes there and some don't? Corruption. But let's get back to what is being written here. Look, y'all, look at this shit here. I was charged with disorderly conduct, y'all. Go look up the statute of disorderly conduct in the state of Maryland. And then go look at the recording of Enterprise. And then I want you to go see what the opinion of the Supreme Court, which is the Supreme Court of America. They don't make law, they give decisions. You cannot, and what the Supreme Law says, you cannot make a constitutional right into a crime. But this fuck judge here said, yeah, you can. That's why she doesn't need to be on the bench. Because she sold herself to these people. Go read the statute. The First Amendment gives me a right to record from a public area. I was on the sidewalk, never came onto their property. Never been inside their branch. But she doesn't know that because she became a whore and sold her soul before we even got into a courtroom where I can question these people and ask them how many times I've been inside of this branch. That's what they claim. Or how many times I've been on the property of this branch. And I guarantee you, under oath, under penalty of perjury, they will say never. But this whore terrorist judge doesn't know that. She just sold her ass to these motherfucking defendants. This clown found the plaintiff guilty of disorderly conduct. Now, this is the judge in the district court of Montgomery County. Same thing. When the lawyer asks how many times he been inside, never. Property, never. He was filming from the sidewalk. And you cannot take a constitutional right and make it into a crime, which they just did. And if you go and read the statute in the state of Maryland, what disorderly conduct is, and I think I put it in one of my recordings with this shit here, it specifically tells you the statute to make a disorderly conduct. But mind you, you can't have disorderly conduct because somebody's filming and using freedom of speech. Can't turn a constitutional right into a crime. But this district court judge in Silver Spring did. Okay? Let's go keep going. Guilty of disorderly conduct and sentence him to 60-day term imprisonment without... wait a minute. With the entering of a sentence suspended. Okay, let's go to that, y'all. Oh, let's keep reading. The court also sentenced plaintiffs to 2 years term of probation. I didn't do not 1 day of probation. I went the next day to turn myself in on the 60 days. And they didn't want to lock me up. Okay? Imprison me, kidnap me. Because that's what they would have did. Okay? Then they went down here. Plaintiff appeal his conviction. I didn't appeal shit. I got in black and white that I was to report to the circuit court for a trial date of the same crime. This is what I mean by this whore judge sold her ass to these defendants because I got shit in black and white. I ain't just talking. I got shit in black and white and I'm taking it to the Capitol here. The document says I have to report to the circuit court for my trial date for this disorderly conduct. Not an appeal. But a trial. Now, mind you, when I go to the circuit court, they dismiss all charges against me. They dismiss it. So this shit she writing up, 60 days probation, get the fuck out of here. But look at here, y'all. She doesn't. Let's go back to this now. This is page 4 right here. All right. Let's go back to page 3. This is page 3, y'all. I want y'all to read this last line right here. Plaintiff appeal his conviction. Before the plaintiff's appeal could be heard, however, the state entered a no process. Ain't this some shit? On the charges against the plaintiff. Ain't that some shit? Look at this shit, y'all. Squash the service. The same bullshit they did in the first case. And the funny thing, we got it all on recording. Squash the service. Not the complaint, but the service that we didn't serve them correctly. We sent it to their headquarters to give it to all of them. Their employees. Ain't this some shit? Not only did we got, y'all look at here, documentation from the United States Post Office, proof of service. We got it all on film, y'all, and we put it on, we got it all on recording and we put it on the platform. And this whorish judge in the United States District Court granted these bitches a dismissal. Talking about we didn't serve them. Ain't that some shit, y'all? Look at this shit, y'all. But the problem is this. Let me tell y'all what the real problem is. Why these whores keep dismissing this case. Right here. I want y'all to look. I want y'all to read what she wrote. Right here, y'all. Where is that? The plaintiff is proceeding in this matter without assistance of counsel. And that's what this whole thing is about. A layman beating them at their own game with their own words. They can't have that. Isn't that a terrorist? They can't have that. That's why that's saying that, here's somebody who don't know the law coming in here and beating the pants off of lawyers and judges. And we can't let free people know that this can be done. But let me tell you, isn't that what the supreme law of this country says? You can walk into a courtroom and if you have the evidence to prove what you're saying, you win. That's not how these corrupt motherfuckers are now. I'm telling you, for her to write this, the plaintiff is proceeding in this matter without the assistance of counsel. What she failed to realize is this. I had counsel, assistant of counsel. Matter of fact, I had 5 lawyers help me with this case. No, they didn't put a line of appearance in this case, and their name's not on the documents, but I had assistant of counsel. And they now have assisted me who I go to try to take these people's bar license away from them where they can't practice law no more. And that they need to be removed from the judicial system of America because they are corrupt. I'm hearing this from assistants of counsel. And I ain't going to tell you who they are, but they are telling me. And furthermore, several people, and I ain't going to mention no names on that either, on Capitol Hill say the same thing. But y'all will find out because this is just the beginning. You have the administrative judge in the circuit court of Montgomery County did the same thing, denied me a jury trial. And the funny thing about this, y'all, I told y'all I've been locked up before by these whores in Montgomery County. This bitch nigga here is one of them. A conflict of interest, y'all. He don't think I remember his bitch ass, but I do. He's a terrorist, and he's running the courthouse. I ain't gonna say the courthouse. He's running this terrorist nest in Rockville, Maryland. And he think I don't remember him when they illegal locked me up and sent me to prison, saying I ordered contract hits on 18 judges, a Governor Martin O'Malley and their families. And then they went to Prince George's County and got a Judge Jackson and I forget the state attorney from Prince George's County, and came to Montgomery County and said they were all Montgomery County people. And this also bright bitch, y'all got as a county executive, she was the state attorney who okayed all this shit. So let me tell you, I got a history with these niggas. I know who they are. You know, you got a corrupt nest. And I went in, I did 5 years, and in that 5 years, I learned the law. And I learned what the supreme law of this country means. What they should have did was go ask the jailers and the correction officers. He didn't play no video games. He ain't watch no TV. He didn't do no yard work. He ain't play no spade. He took law books from the library and educated himself. And it's about to get busy, y'all, because now I'm going to use the same laws against y'all. What'd he say? The plaintiff is proceeding in this matter without the assistance of counsel. Ain't this some shit, y'all? Listen to what she's writing, y'all. I'm showing y'all. Given more leeway. They said, listen to this shit, y'all, that a party represented by counsel you want to know why? Because she corrupt. She wants you to go out and get a lawyer, pay thousands of dollars so they can make deals behind doors. And if you don't believe me, I want y'all to, I don't know, most of y'all been watching the YSL trial in Atlanta. Look how they just removed one of the judges because he's in cahoots with the state attorney. Now we got another judge. Look, I think it's 45 mistrial motions that have come, and they ain't mistrialed yet because the state ain't got no motherfucking case. But they still using up the taxpayers' dollars to try these guys when there is no case. And the funny thing about that case is this. If y'all ain't been watching it, and those who have been watching it, I want y'all to go back to Woody, when the defendant, I think his name was Steele, asked him about Woody stealing the peanut necklace, and that's a no-no in the rap game and in the drug game. You don't steal from them. And it became a problem because there was a hit gonna be put on Woody. So he did the next best thing, killed the man before. But you know what the state did? They gave him immunity where they can't touch him no more. This is the corrupt shit that goes on. The defense even sat there and questioned Woody about him killing and why he had to knock off this guy, or the guy was gonna knock him off. and it went right over all of them heads, and were they still going through the trial. This is the corrupt shit that is happening. And then these individuals having ex parte meetings. The same thing what this judge here is doing. Having ex parte meeting because what? The plaintiff is proceeding in this matter without assistance of counsel. If he don't know, we ain't got to tell him. Y'all can call me up anytime. We have a conversation in my office. And that's what the fuck is going on here. I'm not in any kind of illusion that I knew I wasn't gonna get. I mean, y'all made all these individuals writing these comments, oh, you gonna get money, they're trying to get money. Slim, when I first filed this, I know they was gonna throw it out. This is about showing you corruption and dirtiness in our judicial system with these whores who have become prostitutes in our judicial system. Let's keep going, y'all. That is so ambiguous, otherwise, understand the truth. I'm saying, if any is well, this is God. Question, and so if plaintiff fails to list facts, setting forth. Ain't this a blip? I'm not setting forth any facts. My whole thing was about facts. My whole thing was about evidence, and I even sent you the body cam footage of them conspiring to try to get me with a disorderly conduct. I even sent you facts of a motion demanding a jury trial, that I did not waive my jury rights, and it was stamped by the clerk of the court. I showed you facts that they proceeded with a trial before a one judge. Who, facts, he found me guilty, gave me 60 days. Facts, he gave me more time with the probation than with the sentence holds. And let me tell y'all something about this again. I'm going to tell y'all why he gave me probation. You know, you hear a lot of these officers talking this shit like they know me. These courts don't even know me. They know nothing about me. Only what I tell them. What they wanted me to do is report the probation and give them information about me. That shit ain't never gonna happen. I'll sit up in the jail before you get any information about me. My privacy means something to me. That's what they thought, that I was going to report the probation and you got to give up all this information to probation. Let me tell y'all something. I even had the probation office of Prince George's County calling me, telling me I need to report on Rhode Island Avenue to a probation officer. I told them I don't live in Prince George's County, so therefore I don't need to report to Prince George's County. Then they tried to get me to go to Montgomery County when they couldn't figure out if I was in Montgomery County or not. So since I'm recording a lot in Prince George's County, they said they went back into a case where the judge told me I had to go, since they knew nothing about me, I had to go stay with my sister who lives in Prince George's County to be released. Once I was released, I was gone. I went home. I didn't stay with my sister. I went home. Okay? And that's where they get that Prince George's County address. So now they say, oh, I got to report to Prince George's County. Never did. And never will do outside prison for anybody or jail. That's what probation is about. It's finding out. And then check this out. You have to pay to be on probation. Ain't that some shit? Isn't that extorting? You find me guilty of a crime I didn't commit, and then you want me to pay to attend some shit you trying to get? You got the wrong person you fucking with. That's the same thing about when they found me guilty, talking about a victim of me riding my motorcycle, traveling on my motorcycle, Who's the victim in that? The state can't be a victim, but that's what they made it. They made the state a victim, talking about I had to pay victim fees when there was no victim. Get the fuck out of here. And they do this because the people have lost the sight and dropped the ball, and we got to pick the ball up. And I'm telling you, free people, I'm telling you, this is why this country now is on a cliff, and we're on the edge of the cliff, and we're holding on with our toenails. With our toenails, and we're about to fall off the cliff, the United States. All right, let's keep going. This motion is dismissed for lack of subject matter jurisdiction. Subject matter jurisdiction. Ain't that some shit, y'all? So now they say they don't have subject matter jurisdiction. This is what this terrorist is saying. She doesn't have subject matter jurisdiction. And I put that in there. And I'm going to put it in this one, what subject matter jurisdiction is. What they want me to do now is file an appeal with this and pay another court $602. Nah. What I'm going to do now is I'm going up on Capitol Hill. I'm going to the Justice Department. I'm going to the Ethics Committee, Judicial Ethics Committee. We're going to file these complaints on the judges, on the prosecutors. Okay. Oh, we've been ready. I mean, we already knew we weren't going to get justice, but this is what we're going to do, y'all. It ain't over with. It's just starting. We're going to file in federal court. We're going to file on Capitol Hill. Like I say, we've been talking to people on Capitol Hill, and it's showing our evidence. We got the motion. We got the videos. We got the own court docket saying everything we're proving. Now this judge is saying she doesn't have subject matter jurisdiction. And this is why she's dismissing these cases. A fucking criminal sitting on the bench. A terrorist. And again, y'all go to U.S. Title 18, Section, what is it? 2431, Paragraph 5. It defines a domestic terrorist, y'all. And this judge is a domestic terrorist. Just like the first one. And just like the first one, we're filing complaints. We're going to use your own legal documents against y'all. Because this has to stop. This has to stop. She doesn't have subject matter. Even though we filed, let me show you what we filed under. Or I filed these, I mean, just so right here, y'all, look. Section 1983. Based on the 4th, 6th, 8th, and 14th Amendment, Criminal Law Section 1983. This shit's so fucking crazy. But we already knew this was gonna happen. enough facts to state. Ain't this? Woo! Unbelievable, y'all. And the thing about it is this. They love to put these opinions of court cases in. And let me tell y'all something. I'm going to tell y'all about a corrupt system when you hear it. When you hear judges and lawyers saying case law, it is not case law. These are case decisions. Laws are not made by cases. Okay? These are decisions that are to help an individual win their cases. This is not law. And when you start hearing judges and prosecutors saying that, even defendants, you better watch yourself, because it clearly shows. If you don't believe me, Google how laws are made in the United States. They are not made from the bench of a courtroom. But they use these words to try to confuse you. And they confused me at one point, like I said, until I did this 5 years and I educated myself on this. These are decisions that are made. They are not law. And every case has a different decision. So when they start posting all these laws, all these these opinions in their briefs and memorandums, they're corrupt. They corrupt all the way. Dirty, corrupt. Yeah, you can use them to justify their opinions. But my evidence is facts. I have everything in black and white. And if it ain't in black and white, it's recorded. And I've showed you all everything. And for you bootlickers, if you see, you don't recall or didn't see nothing, holler at me and I'll repost it for you to show you. I can show you the body cam footage. I can show you where I never been inside of Enterprise. I can present witnesses, even witnesses that work there. Now, mind you, and I'm going to show it to you again, we can go back to Enterprise, and half of these people aren't even working there no more. Because they think they work for Enterprise, but they don't work at this location no more. We know where they work at. Okay? And if I were to question them on the stand, they would all say that I have never been inside of Enterprise. I was recording from the sidewalk, which is not illegal. I have never been on the property of Enterprise. And they got 100 cameras out there, and not one of them would ever show me on Enterprise's property. I have a recording. If you go back to the body cam footage of the officers, they will say, no, he's on the sidewalk. But yet and still, I ain't got no evidence to sustain my facts. All right, this is Rule 56, y'all. Ain't this some shit, y'all? Some of y'all have seen the evidence, the recordings, and your comments clearly show that there's some genuine facts going on here. When a person has a motion stating that he's not waiving his constitutional rights to a jury trial, but is being denied that right, which is guaranteed to all free people. And this judge says, genuine. No genuine issue as to any material facts. Ain't that some shit, y'all? This is what I mean by corruption, y'all. This is what I mean by our judicial system has become a whore. She is no longer blind, but she is a whore. and the moving party is entitled to judgment as a matter of law. Woo! As a matter of law. Doesn't the law say I have a right to a jury trial? Doesn't the law says what a disorderly conduct is? Doesn't the law says a citizen, I have a right to record in a public area anything I can see with my eyes? Doesn't the law says freedom of speech, unless I threaten someone to do bodily harm to them? And as you heard in their own statements, I said I'll meet him at 5 o'clock. I didn't say I was going to do nothing to him unless he threw an apple at me again. There was no threats. Meeting a person at 5 o'clock, you a tough guy when you on the property throwing shit at somebody. Throw it when you ain't on the property and see what happened. If you a tough guy. But there was never a threat unless he did something. But again, this terrorist says there's no facts. There's no evidence. The fuck out of here. And so if there clearly exists factual issues that promptly can be resolved only by a finding of facts. Well, let's look at this. I filed a complaint. I sent you facts. I sent you the body cam footage of the incident. You sent it back to me and wrote me a motion saying we can't do that. So you don't want to hear about the facts. But then again, look how all these opinions that follow back behind But the problem is this: I didn't ask a judge to be the arbitrator of the finding of facts. I asked a jury to do it. But they took it upon themselves to be the arbitrator of the facts. Even though I asked her, no, not asked, I demanded it in the money that I paid with my complaint that, let me see if I got the complaint. This is a complaint, y'all. Where is it at? I'm gonna show y'all. Where is it at? Okay, look here, y'all. 1983 242, depriving of rights under color of law. But she ain't got no jurisdiction, y'all. Look at this right here. Pro se. Where is it at? Where is it? Okay, here it is right here, y'all. Here it is right here. I didn't ask the judge to be the arbitrator of the facts. What does that say, y'all? Jury trial. Jury trial, y'all. I want y'all to see this, right? Enterprise car. I'm turning the page. Jury trial. This one they didn't put the case number on here yet. This is when I passed to. Look here. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, it is time we restructure our judicial system. All right, here we go right here. The rule for the service of process. Let me find the one. Oh, here it is right here with Enterprise on it, y'all. See Enterprise? And the United States Postal Service. Me paying. All right, look at here, y'all. Me paying for it. And it being delivered. This shit is fucking ridiculous, y'all. By the federal government, y'all. And now this judge is saying we didn't serve them. Again. Missouri law. I'm not in Missouri. I don't give a fuck about Missouri law. I'm not in Missouri. And neither is this corrupt judge. This case is not being filed in Missouri. It's being filed in Maryland. And Maryland law on filing. Look here, y'all. By mail. Authorized to accept service. Ain't this some shit, y'all? The same bullshit that was in the first lawsuit. And this is why I say this is extortion on the free citizen. And the law should be very clear. When a person pay their money, they should be heard on the facts and the evidence in their civil lawsuit. And not let these individuals who sit up here, who make decisions over a phone call, text, or tennis match, or some luncheon about an individual who just paid their money to be heard on the facts. And when he requests a jury, instead of paying this $100,000 to these corrupt judges, pay the people who come in there to hear the case. That's why they decide, because they don't want to pay you taxpayers to come in and hear these cases and hear the truth. By mail. All this was done, y'all. All this was done. Look at here. Section 1983 provides for individuals who have had their constitutional rights violated to seek remedy against individual state actors. The judge is a state actor. The prosecutor is a state actor. The commissioner is a state actor. Y'all. My constitutional rights, which are guaranteed to me, gives me a right to a jury trial to any crime that is being alleged against me that holds jail time. The Supreme Law says this. And I don't care if it's one day. If it holds jail time, I am entitled to a jury trial. But these lawyers and these judges are in. And again, go back to the YSL case when the judge, the black terrorist judge, locked up, I don't know the rapper's name, but the head one they said was the leader, when he refused to give the name of the person who told that they had an ex parte meeting without any of the defendants or the defendant's lawyers present. He wanted the name of the person who told them about it. And he refused, and he locked him up. And a lawyer for this big Trump thing came down, and the judge didn't even know the difference between criminal and civil contempt. Ain't that some shit, y'all? Any criminal matter, you are entitled to due process. And one of them is having a right to a jury trial, if you choose to, if you don't waive your rights. And that's what I did. I didn't file the motion just to be filing it. But I was denied that. And that right there gives, as it says in section 983, subject matter to this corrupt judge. That alone gives subject matter to this corrupt judge. But they say they don't have subject matter. This is the bullshit that is happening in our court. And we got to get them out of office. She's a government official elected to that post or appointed by another elected person whoever appointed her, we got to get rid of them off the bench. Get rid of them. This is the only way we're going to have honesty, integrity in our judicial system. Is we got to start getting rid of these corrupt individuals. Now look at here, y'all. The 8th Amendment There go that word again, immunity, y'all. And then they use case decisions to try to justify it. I'm telling y'all, free people, it is time we do something about our judicial system. And the way we do it is that we got to start getting rid of these people. Look at here. To get a claim against them in this civil action pursuant to upon grounds that these claims are barred by the 8th Amendment. Listen, immunity. Immunity. Claim. Ain't this some shit, y'all? This is why I say it is time we put people in the office who will get rid of this immunity by these terrorists. This is the only way we're going to have a judicial, honest. And the thing about it is, it's not that you can't get justice, because I'm going to show you how we're going to get justice in this case. Because we're going to get these people disbarred. We're going to put a mark on them where nobody wants to elect them into office again because of their corrupted ways. This is what's going to happen. We're going to Capitol Hill. As I told you, we've already written up the complaint. We've been just waiting for that's why the lawyers told me to go ahead and start calling to find out why they're sitting on this case for so long. And sure enough, we knew this was coming. Okay? Stand by. I'm going to show you, like I told you, we've already got the complaints. We got it for the federal judges. We got it for the state judges, the prosecutors, all of them. We even going to contact the Bar Association, the American Bar Association. We're going to send it to them, the Department of Justice. We're going to see what they're going to do. And then we're going to bring it to you people. We're letting you see. And I'm not talking about you bootlickers. I mean, Y'all just a waste of time in American society now. That's why this country is in the fucked up position it's in now, because we have allowed you all to get into office and prolong this shit. You know, okay. While I got y'all on here, a new election for our president is coming up. And I want y'all to understand something. Every time we get ready to have an election, have y'all ever noticed that a war breaks out with somebody else and they want us to come and help them? Let me tell y'all something about this Israel and Palestinian and Iran shit. This ain't number smoke and mirrors to take you off of what is happening in the United States. Go look at what the United Nations, they finally waking up, and other countries are waking up to see that this kind of smoke and mirror doesn't work anymore. You got to after a while, you can play that game on people for so long, and then they start waking up. You played it on me. You played it on me until like I say, I applaud you giving me that 5 years. I applaud you, because when I was in there, I opened up my own law firm, my own law thing in my cell, where I wrote and did law work for inmates who were being illegally held, and I was getting them out. Because the supreme law of this country is the law. And these people are writing up their own little laws. You know, it's just like in D.C., where they tell you you can't carry a firearm in the United States. That's not what the Second Amendment says. You have the right to bear arms. I don't care if you want to walk down the street with a saw. Oh, that's that Gatling gun. That's your right. Until you use it, the government can't do anything about it. But we have set back and allowed these people to do what they want to do. And the thing about this is this, y'all. We got the NRA with all its high-powered lawyers. Don't know that? You don't need nowhere in the Second Amendment does it say you need a card, you need a concealed permit to carry a firearm. But if you go to the 14th Amendment, it says not one word in the supreme law can be abridged. And look up the definition of abridge. But they try to circumvent the supreme law to justify their means. Have you ever noticed when you go to court or when laws are made, it's to sway towards the prosecution or the government? You rarely see anything swaying toward the people. And I applaud the judge in D.C. There's a case in D.C., I think it was 2002. I have it, but I don't have it on me right now, that I was getting a lot of people back in the court when I was in prison with it. In the District of Columbia, where the gentleman had wanted to carry a firearm and they locked him up, and he beat the case. So you tell me, when all these high-powered lawyers the NRA has, why isn't y'all using the real law? And you want to know why? Them greenbacks. Them greenbacks. Why is it that a layman have to come and tell you what the real law is? But in that case, they had lawyers. And you want to know why they had lawyers, why he beat? Because he got greenbacks. But for you people, poor people, this is what they do to us. We have to start educating ourselves on the real law of this country. And once the real law comes out, there wouldn't be that much corruption in our government. And the funny thing, we wouldn't need immunity. Go back and look at when immunity started with our government. It's the same thing about insurance. Go back and start when the cars started first, automobile first started, there wasn't no insurance. Go back and just recently, the use of marijuana, it was a criminal act. Even though they say it's not a drug, but it wasn't a criminal act. They made it a criminal act, and then now look at it. You free to smoke marijuana. And you want to know why you free to smoke marijuana now, free people? The government, these corrupt individuals, these rich people have learned how to tax it and make money off of it. If they can tax cocaine, it'll be legal. If they could tax alcohol, go back. Moonshine, you could drink moonshine all day long. Until people started making good money off of it, and then they made it illegal. And then now look at it. The government in the state of Maryland, the government is the moonshine maker. They got their hands, what? In most states. They produce and distribute the alcohol. Same thing with lottery. Street lottery was illegal. Now look at lottery. Go back and do your history, because the government can now tax it. And that's what's going on in our judicial system. It has become a business. And we have to grab hold of it again and say enough is enough. And we have to take away this immunity and start holding people accountable for their actions and start getting rid of them. Look at this shit, y'all. I'm just showing y'all some of this. This right here is page 9 that this terrorist wrote up. How many pages did she write up in there? I ain't even gonna go through all these pages because it's a bunch of bullshit. She wrote 18 pages, y'all. Her signature is on the 18th. Let me see if I get it. On the 18th page right here. This terrorist right here, y'all. How do you know facts are there when you say nobody even put you never brought me into court to give you the facts other than me writing them down? Then you say I didn't serve the people. And I know you watching my platform. If you ain't watching it personal, somebody in your office is. Because that's why I know when I put something on my platform, I get a response from you all. So I know you're watching it. But it's okay though. If you think I'm out of sight, out of mind, and I'm not taking this to the next level, no. I play chess. I don't play checkers. This individual, and I'm pretty sure she got one of her paralegals to write this shit up. She didn't write it up herself, but she signed it. She put her signature on it. The only thing she didn't put on here is her bar number. But we can get that. But look, how do you have facts on a complaint when I wrote, she say I didn't state the claim, even though I did state the claim. And I sent her the evidence. Some of the evidence. Like I say, I showed you all the body cam footage of the police officers. I showed you, I'm going to do another one. I can't get it right now because I'm somewhere recording this and I don't have all the documents in front of me. But I'm going to show you the motion. You can go back and look at my recordings of the motion I filed with the clerk of the court in Silver Spring that I was not waiving my rights. I wanted demanding a jury trial pursuant to Maryland statute and the supreme law of this country, which is guaranteed to me. What else she said? She said I didn't serve them. I used the United States Post Office. What most people fail to realize is this. Once I hand it to the federal post office, the federal post office, it is now delivered. Because they're going to deliver. And then I had it where the person signing for it will return receipt where they signed for it. Where they signed for it. But she's saying that I didn't serve it right. Come on, man. First time you said I didn't use a process. So I got the federal. See, that's why I used the federal government this time and not just had a private person go do it and I paid them. I had the federal post office serve these individuals. And then I took it to them and listen here, look at here, y'all. And I paid for it again. I paid to have the federal post office serve these people. And now this terrorist say I didn't serve them. And what else? She said I didn't mention a claim, which I did do. Oh, there's no facts. And then she says she doesn't have subject matter jurisdiction. Ain't that some shit? She really think that I'm a layman at this and that I'm not taking this to my assistants of counsel to have them look it over and do the necessary documents so we can get this ball rolling on these corrupt judges to get them removed from office. I mean, even the first judge, we ain't did nothing on because we're waiting. As I told you, they knew who I was when I went up to Richmond, Virginia. So ain't no use of paying no money up there because they already been, the long arm of corruption has already reached up there. The clerk hung the phone up on me. When I contacted her, she's telling me I got to go back down to the district court in Greenbelt to get the documents. I already told you, they're not giving me anything down there. So why would you keep sending me back? That's just like saying you sending me, I was raped, and you keep sending me back to the rapist for justice. Get the fuck out of here. But let me tell y'all something. These whole cases isn't about money, even though some of these bootlickers like to say, it's about money. I care less about the dollar bill. It's about showing corrupted individuals in our government that have to be removed from office. And we got to put a better system in. You know, history always repeats itself. We are on the brink of a civil war taking place in the United States because we have so many corrupt individuals in our government now that are just going along to get along. And let me tell y'all something right now. I tell people that I talk to, this next election between Donald Trump and Harris will be our last sustaining election, because if this is all we have to run our country, we are in trouble. But let me make this clear to you. Neither one of them, in my opinion, is worthy enough to be president of this country. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to start with Donald Trump. The only reason, if I was going to vote for somebody, it would be Donald Trump. And let me tell you why. Donald Trump is the only person that will keep, or will have a chance to keep these other countries off America's ass for the next 4 years. That's it. He has no politics that I agree on. But as I tell people, if Donald Trump is elected president, you ain't got to worry about it for the next 4 years. I can assure you, Donald Trump is going to go after everybody that went after him. That's what rich people do. He's going to go after he's going to be so busy trying to hem up these people who tried to put him in prison that y'all don't have to worry about nothing. But what y'all better do is get y'all lives in order and y'all finances in order, because after these 4 years is up, whoever's elected this, shit gonna hit the fan for this country. Now, if you pick Harris, I'm pretty sure the United States will be in a third world war. And I'm not talking about that Iraq shit. That wasn't no war. I'm talking about a real war. Either North Korea, either China, either Russia, it's gonna try us. And we ain't ready for that shit. We are not ready for a third world war. One, this country isn't together. Two, they have opened up the doors and let all these people come into this country. And I'm going to tell you this. The real men and women have run them out of their country. And if a war breaks out here, these same individuals going to get their 7-Eleven bags and they're going to leave this country. They're not going to fight for this country. They're going to leave this country. I ain't got nothing against people coming into this country the right way, but I'm telling you this. This country has fucked up. The people we have put into office has fucked up. And if you ask me, we haven't had a real president since Kennedy. I know y'all say Clinton. Yeah, Clinton was cool, but Clinton wasn't, nah. Then people talking about Barack Obama. Let me tell you something about. We back at that same stage. I tell people, when Barack Obama ran for president, if Donald Duck would have ran for president, he would have been elected president of the United States. You could not put John McCain or Hillary Clinton into office when them three ran for president. And if you don't believe me, do your history. Look at it. If McCain or Hillary was elected president, the United States would have tore itself apart. So they had to put somebody in the office. And I'm talking about rich people. You poor people thinking you running this country, you're not. You thinking your vote, that's what those are, what they call the elected people are. Those are rich people who votes the president in. But let me get back to that. If Barack Obama wasn't president, this country would have tore itself apart, and we're back at that again with these two candidates. If this is all we have in the United States, we're in trouble. We are in serious trouble. And the funny thing about it is this. After this election, what do we have? I don't see nobody in the horizon worthy enough to run this country. And that's sad. And it's sad because we have allowed cowards, terrorists, weak individuals to infiltrate our government, just like this judge here, who sell their soul off to individuals. And the funny thing about it is this, just like I was telling the officer about the Crips and the Bloods, and I don't mean the street gangs from California. I'm talking about the police who use the blue line, and I'm talking about the fire department who use the red line. You desecrate that American flag that so many people have died from the making of this flag to the day y'all desecrated it. And not one individual has held you all accountable for it. you're not even accountable. You start putting it on the uniforms and you start putting them on the vehicles, the people's vehicles. And you start taking them off when the citizens started complaining, when so many of them woke up and understood the individuals who have died for that flag, the red, white, and blue, and the stars. You are spitting on their graves, and the family members of these individuals should rise up and have your voices heard, to have that outlawed on public servants' property. If you want to have that Crip and Blood flag, hey, do it on your own property, but don't put it on the people's property. You want to lock up dudes in California for wearing the red and blue, but you won't do it to yourself. You see the double standard, people? We got to take this immunity away and use common law sense in America again, because we don't have common law sense anymore. We have fucked up sense. We open up the doors and let all these people in America, y'all, who come over here, they ain't got no job, claiming they in wartime. But common sense would say, wait a minute, what about the American people who are unemployed, ain't got no job or whatever? And you know what I tell people who say, well, we got to open up? It's the same thing with slavery. You brought all these black people over here from Africa, and when they educated themselves about the law and how people and came together as a group and found out that y'all was fucking them, what did they do? They rebelled. And you know what's happening now? These same immigrants that you brought over here are rebelling. But just like they say, these ain't no ordinary immigrants. This is a young generation of immigrants who, in their country, were starving, were being beaten by law enforcement, military, whose rights they didn't have. But they're in a country now where they see they got some rights, and they're rebelling. And you go to some, if you don't believe me, all I want you to do is Google this shit. You got these immigrants now who are shooting at the police, beating up the police, assaulting the police, shooting and killing each other. This ain't just because some random shit. These people say they're not going back to their country. They're not going back. And you about to find out. I'm telling you, this shit that's going on in the Middle East, I've been telling people this for years. Israel was the biggest bully in in Israel. The UN is finally realizing that. People in America is finally realizing that this new Hitler, who is the prime minister or the president of Israel, is a dangerous individual. And I told people this years ago. He's a dangerous individual. He's worse than Hitler. He's worse than Hitler. And you want to know why he's so worse than Hitler? Because he know how to manipulate countries in their talk and people. But the funny thing about it is this. It's a new generation. It ain't like the old generation who went along with him because he was corrupt and money and you know, come on, man. He sent his people over here to manipulate the American people. Well, you got a new generation that don't see the same as the old generation. And you should see that out, how things are being done. Just a new generation. And you can't sway them like you swayed the old generation. I'm gonna tell you, just like I told the officer that I had a conversation with her. I cut the camera off and we had a serious conversation about something. I had an individual come up to me and was trying to sell an assault weapon to me for $300. I could have bought it. I ain't in that no more. A high-powered assault weapon with a high-powered scope on it. This is what this new generation is about. And if you don't believe me, go Google it or look at TikTok how they have these assault weapons, AK-47s, clips, switches. They not bullshitting. And you can't fool them like you fooled our old generation. Shit about to get rough in America, free citizens. And the only way it doesn't get rough is we start taking away these individuals who are corrupt and terrorists, who sit on benches, who sit in our government, who is getting away where people are seeing they're getting away with dumb shit. And this young generation sees that. How am I going to get justice when they're doing it? We got to take this immunity away from them. We got to start holding these people accountable. We got to start firing them. We got to stop slapping them on the wrist when they commit criminal activity. I don't know if y'all saw the recording of the homicide on New Hampshire Avenue in Washington, D.C. But let me tell you this. I don't want to put the whole recording up there of the thing because I'm not a witness to anything, and I'm never going to be a witness to something. I'm a witness to telling y'all the truth. But let me tell you this. I'm going to record what I see, but I'm not going to sit on anybody's stand and justify and talking about finding them guilty of something. I've been a criminal. So me being a criminal, I'm never going to snitch on an individual who is trying to make it. But let me tell y'all about that incident. There were 10 to 15 individuals on scooters riding up and down Eastern Avenue, brandishing firearm. Every last one of them had a firearm. That's what this country is coming to. And you better start arming yourself and understanding what the Second Amendment means. You have a right to bear arms to protect yourself against any aggressor. I know in the state of Maryland, they talking about they got a law that says you don't have stand your ground. That's not what the Second Amendment says. It clearly says you have a right to bear arms to defend yourself against any aggressor. And the 14th Amendment says the government cannot abridge that supreme law giving you that right. And the sad part about it is this. The NRA, I used to be with them until I realized and read and studied the laws of the right to bear arms and what really the Second Amendment means. So you telling me you paying these lawyers hundreds of thousands of dollars and they don't know that? We got a serious problem in America, y'all. And you ain't got to listen to me. I tell everybody, even people on my platform, all I'm doing is bringing this to you. Go Google it and look at it. Look it up for yourself with a clear mind and put aside everything you've been learned over your years of being on this planet. And read and investigate shit for yourself and come to your own conclusion. If you still feel the same way you do, like a whole lot of them do, leading these comments, that's you. You got your opinion. Just like I got my opinion. I ain't mad at you. I just don't want you on my platform with it. I don't want to hear the stupid. Just like the officer with the chase in the District of Columbia. When the PG County officer is 4 blocks into D.C. Look, DC has made it a law. It is illegal for their officers to chase individuals in the District of Columbia. So let me ask you a question. If their police officers can't do it, why you letting PG County do it? And the sad part about it, this last chase, nobody was arrested. They took the man and the little girl out of handcuffs. They went to the hospital. Nobody was arrested, but free people property was damaged. And if I was to tell these people, and if y'all watching my platform, I would get an attorney and sue the shit out of Prince George's County. Because Prince George's County, it was not a felony chase. It was not a hot pursuit of anything. They didn't even arrest nobody. It was the man's own car. And he said he took off because a ghost car got behind him and he got scared. He was a foreigner. He got scared. They scared of the police in their country. So he got scared. So he took off. And he put people's lives in danger because the police was chasing him. If they would have cut the pursuit off, the man would have slowed down. They got his tag, run his tag, or catch him on another day. But instead, they chased him 4 blocks into D.C. up a one-way street, and they damaged free people's property in an area where it is illegal to pursue. But again, if you get a lawyer, they're going to make deals. I tell you, learn the law yourself. Yeah, it's going to take a while for us to really come to understand and bring our judicial system back to when it first started. Because, 1, there was no immunity. 2, people were held accountable for their actions. You know, I tell people about if you, one of the officers was talking about, well, felons can't have a gun. Go back to when the cowboy movies and look at when individuals did 5 and 10 years, that the warden would have their gun and their bullets waiting for them when they did their 10 years. They're felons. The only thing they didn't have was their horse, and the warden say, what you think you've been eating for the last 5 years? But they would give them back their firearms. So how in the world, if a government saying you can't have a firearm when you're a felon, when the law says you have a right to bear arms? You want to know why that is? Because rich people manipulated what is being written in the Supreme Law, which the 14th Amendment said they can't do. Nowhere in that law says you can't have an assault weapon. It says you can have the right to bear arms. Like I say, if I choose to walk down the street with a Gatling gun, I have that right. It's only when I use it that law enforcement and the government can get involved to make sure I used it correctly. You understand what I'm saying, free people? If I use that Gatling gun, I have a right to walk down the street with that Gatling gun. They call them saws, but that Gatling gun. Now, if somebody come up to try to rob me, and I empty my Gatling gun where when the police come up, there's nothing left but meat all over the street, then I'm going to get locked up, but that's because that's overkill. But as long as I haven't used that Gatling gun yet, I have a right to walk down the street with it, to bear it. And that's what the Second Amendment is saying. But we have allowed individuals and special groups to try to curve the way of the American people. And they've done it because we have dropped the ball and let these individuals get into office to try to curve the way and thinking of America. It's just like I heard the debate and they talk about abortion and a woman's right. I heard Mrs. What's her name, Harris asked a senator, is there any laws that says is there any laws to keep a man from some kind of bullshit? Well, the man got the same right as a woman, and the woman got the same right as a man. Before you lay down and open your legs, that's your right. But history has said anything that moves on its own is alive. And that fetus inside of you, a woman who has laid down and opened her legs, is alive. But they try to manipulate the wordings to get you people riled up for some dumb shit to agree with what they're trying to do. Now, let me explain this to you. I believe abortion should only be done if both people agree to it. Now, if a person is raped, then I agree that the woman has a right to abort it because she didn't agree to that sexual intercourse. Incest. If a family member raped her or had sex with her without her consent, she should have that right to do it. But if she consented to it, she shouldn't have that right, because it should become homicide. It should become a murder, because that fetus is alive inside of that woman. But we have allowed individuals who are promiscuous, whatever they say, who like to go out, get drunk, and lay down and open their legs up to anybody and everybody. And then when you get pregnant, you want to have a recourse. Oh, I'll just go have an abortion. Ain't that some shit to say? There's something wrong with that person. You want to go out, get drunk, do drugs, and then when you open up your legs and you get pregnant, you got a recourse, just like this immunity. I'm going to have an abortion. That's the same thing about homosexuals. I find that very interesting. And I tell people, you could do whatever you want to do with yourself. If you want to be gay, I ain't got no problem with that. But don't try to make it out as something that's generic or it's a gene. Ain't no fucking gene. Why is it that we the only species on this planet that want to fuck each other? Same sex. That we want to have a relationship with each other. Get the fuck out of here. There's something wrong with you. That's a choice you made. It ain't generic. If it was generic, then why did we have some family members gay and some ain't? And then here come the scientists want to say, oh, it jumped. Damn, that's the first time I heard a gene with some common sense jumping over one person to the next. Come on, free people use common sense. This shit getting out of hand, because I'm telling you, America is on the ledge and it's being held up on its toenails. And this next 4 years after that, I think we're going to drop off if we don't change as a people and start using common sense. You know, we was talking about that homosexual shit the other day. I'm saying, let's look at this, y'all. If homosexual was so right, why do most of all these butches want to walk around like they men? Or why do They put on dildos and fuck each other. You see what I'm saying? Same thing with homosexual men. If you a man and you gay, why you dress up like a woman? Why you trying to change your appearance? You can still get your ass toe off looking like a nigga. And I'm going to keep it 110 with you. So why you got to change your appearance if you're a homosexual? And don't get me wrong, homosexual people. That's your right. I got a lot of homosexual friends, and I ain't gay, but they my friends, and I keep it 100 with everybody. There's something wrong, and I tell them that. There's something wrong with you. Think about it. How in the world, as a man, you kissing another man with a mustache and a beard, and then you sucking him off, and then you letting him ram his dick in you? And then, how in the world? Same thing with a woman. How is it that you let another woman put a rubber dildo on and ram you when she's got the same thing you got? What kind of pleasure? What are you getting out of that? You know, and then the same thing. Let me tell you, it ain't even about the sex thing. The woman cheats on another woman. The man cheats on another man. So what is the deal? I ask my gay friends this all the time. What is this? And you know what they tell me? It's generic. It's a gene. They don't fall into that white man's way of thinking. Let me tell you something. If you want to be gay, be gay. But don't put it on a gene, because out of all the species on this planet, we the only ones that are homosexual. You don't see two big silverbacks fucking each other in the zoo. You don't see two lions hanging dick in each other in the zoo. You don't see two male horses hanging dick in each other in the prairie. Come on. If you choose to be gay, so be it. But don't let people fool you that it's a gene or it's this and it's this. It's your opinion. It's the way you want to be. And I ain't got nothing against. Everybody want to be what they want to be, because me, there is a judgment day, and I believe in God. And in the supreme law of this country and the supreme law of this world and the gospel that has been spoken, it is an abomination. He tells you that. So, if your opinion is you still want to do it, hey, do it. The only problem I got with it is this. I don't believe you should be raising no children. I don't believe you should be raising no child to let them see that this is okay. I don't. And I don't believe in you keep saying it is a gene. Okay? It's the same thing about gun rights in this country. It's the same thing about alcohol. It's the same thing about drugs. My thing is this. If you're a drug addict and you want to do drugs, excuse me, and it's not affecting nobody, you ain't out there robbing nobody, you ain't out there stealing from nobody, do your thing. If you want to go out here and take fentanyl, do your thing. As long as you're not hurting nobody else. But when your dumb ass drop off dead, that's on you. When you wake up and ain't got shit, because you don't sold it to the crack man or the drug man, that's on you. That's the same thing about prostitution. Come on, man. You make that an outlaw, and then now it's all over social media. You know, come on, man. You know, when I grew up, we had Playboy books, and you know, I tell people this and they think it's funny, but when I was growing up, J.C. Penney, listen, if you don't believe me, go talk to people who are real and keeping it 100 with you. J.C. Penney, Sears catalog, J.C. Penney catalog. What was the other catalogs that was out? Them was our Playboy books. We would go in there and see the women in the lingerie. That was Playboy for us. Now, when I got older, I saw the books and it didn't even faze me none. Because I don't want to see a woman naked like that because it doesn't do anything for me. But look, and I keep it 100 with you. Now, you can go online and you can see all that shit free. You want to know why? Because the government has learned how to tap into that. Rich people have learned to tap into that. What's the Playboy Bunny King? The one that had the mansion? Come on, man. He made all this money off of that. Ain't nobody locked him up. Hefner. That's the same thing about R. Kelly. This R. Kelly shit. Go back and look at Elvis Presley's wife and see how old she was when he married her and had sex with her. Ain't nobody say nothing about that. Ain't nobody say nothing about that. We pick and choose who we gonna go after instead of going after all of them. It's a sad day in America, y'all. And y'all better wake up. Okay? Y'all better wake up. Because I'm telling y'all, we are on the cliff, hanging on by our toenails. And we got 4 more years, y'all, with this next election. That's if we pick the right person. If we pick the right person. And I don't like Donald Trump. I mean, to me, he's comical because he's not a real president. What most of y'all know, he's not. But it amazes me how black people jump on the bandwagon. Anything they hear, they go along with it. And then you get these radio announcers and comedians trying to persuade you to pick somebody because they're a woman and because they're black. Get the fuck out of here. Not because her politics are good and she's good for America, because she's a woman and she's black. And this is what we got to stop doing. We have to make our country great again using Donald Trump by removing these individuals we have put into office that are clueless. I had an individual tell me, talking about, why don't I run for president? Because I wouldn't last 2 weeks. And I know that. I will be executed in 2 weeks. And 2, every president that we don't put into office, they go in with black hair and they come out with white hair. And that's because of worrying. I ain't worrying about nothing. I got gray hair. Let me tell y'all something. And I'm going to keep it 100 with you. Before I went into prison, I didn't have gray hair. While I was in prison, I got gray hair from reading all the documents of other people's cases, and it gave me gray hair. That's how I got the gray hair I got. And that's sad. But I would never run for office because it's full of criminals. All these people are criminals. When we start electing honest people with no immunity and we start holding them accountable, that's just like Donald Trump, and who decides who gets immunity in this country? I was telling somebody that the other day. When this guy killed Mr. Floyd, why didn't he get immunity? Who picks and chooses who gets immunity in this country? This is why we got to do away with it. If he killed Floyd, he shouldn't have no immunity. If Donald Trump broke the law, he shouldn't have no immunity. Just like this judge here. If this state violated my rights, they shouldn't have no immunity. This judge shouldn't have no immunity. Who decides who gets immunity in this country? Is there a group that you have to write to saying, I want immunity? Come on, man. It's up to the free people. Same thing with the police, what they don't understand. Like I was telling a police officer who was in this chase, I guarantee you this. Go back and look at the recording where you see I'm talking to some of the officers where the lieutenant came at me and told me about, I ain't got nothing against none of these guys in uniform. Only one, that Barnes motherfucker. I don't like him at all. I don't like him at all. And that other motherfucker who put his hand, the lieutenant. I ain't seen him no more. But that Barnes motherfucker, I don't like him at all because he put his hands on me. And the only reason he put his hands on me is because I don't want to go back to prison. Will I go back to prison? Oh yeah, you fuck with my family, I will. But I know I'm a man. I see what you trying to do. Just like he came up look at the last video when I was with Hagerstown. I don't know his real name, but I call him Hagerstown. I ain't got nothing against him. I don't know him as a person. He could be a good guy, but I'm gonna speak my mind when you come at me, okay? When he was and Barnes finna get out of the car talking about, do I have a concealed weapon permit? Bitch, I don't need no concealed weapon permit. You first got to see a gun. That's the same thing with the DC officer in the CVS talking about I got a firearm on me. Is it illegal to carry a firearm? The Second Amendment says no. But because you think you took that 6-month course and they don't even read books, they just somebody up there talking to you and they telling you that's what you go with. But let me get back to what I was saying. That night, with all them 11 cruisers in DC, I can guarantee you this, and just like I told these officers, if y'all would have killed somebody in DC, I promise you, y'all would have been brought up on felony charges. Because DC have made it very clear there's no chasing. It is illegal to chase in the District of Columbia. This hot pursuit, illegal. And in this instant, it's the man's own car. There is no weapons involved. They assume he robbed somebody for the car and they find out it's his car. You 11 officers who chased this man into the Federal District of Columbia, I promise you, y'all would have been brought up on felony charges, and the same people that supervise y'all would have hung y'all out to dry. It's the same thing about the Jews and the Germans. We was just following orders. That shit don't play it out, y'all. And this is why I try to tell y'all in them uniforms. I don't do this just to get up under y'all skin. And I'm trying to get y'all to educate yourselves too. They don't make it where y'all have to have a 4 years degree. But I'm telling y'all need to go study the real law, other than that little 6-month shit that they pushed on y'all. Because when push comes to shove, y'all just like them Germans. All you're gonna say is we were following orders. The law is very clear in the District of Columbia. There is zero hot pursuit, and it clearly states how hot pursuit is supposed to be done. And that's for the District of Columbia police officers. That's not for coming into Prince George's County, crossing that boundary, chasing a man in his own car. And I'm telling y'all, you need to educate yourselves wearing that uniform, because they're not gonna, I'm telling you, scapegoat. They're gonna need scapegoat, because the first thing you're gonna say is, we radio in to do we pursue them? And they're gonna say, well, we didn't tell y'all to pursue nobody into the District of Columbia if it wasn't a felon. Hot pursuit. You hot pursuing the man in his own car. And there was an officer who wrote a comment. You know, he talking about, I don't want to get into it. But you do want to get into it because you left a comment, which I really don't even respond to comments, really. But he made it a point talking about, what do you want us to do, is let him go? Bruh. It was his own car. You let him go anyway. Did you see the officers taking the handcuffs off him? Now, if y'all would have killed somebody, what you think was going to happen? You can't use, I was just following order shit. The law is very clear in the District of Columbia on pursuits. Why you think these clowns be speeding away from the police? Because they know there is zero pursuit. And just like I told an officer, if you never killed anybody and you kill a child or somebody who was not involved in this pursuit, that's a sentence I wouldn't wish that on nobody. And if you don't believe me, ask some of these clowns out here who you have caught killing innocent people when they go to prison. I've seen them. I've seen some of them hanging in the cell. I've seen some of them cut their throats or bleed out by cutting their wrists. And you want to know why? Because that person comes and visits them at night. Yeah, if a person pull a gun on a police officer, yeah, blow his ass away. I can see that. But if you, with that chase, would have ran over some children walking in that apartment complex, or you forced this man to run over them in a park, you could never live with yourself. And you can say that all day long. If you don't believe me, go talk to some of these soldiers who have killed people and they're on drugs now. They're heavy alcoholics. You'll never be the same again. You will never be the same. I don't care how tough you think you are. You could ask the toughest individual who killed somebody and thought they did it what's the word I want to use? Did it in justification. I guarantee you, he's an alcoholic, he's a druggie, or he's having some kind of mental breakdown. Wake up, officers who love to chase people. Just like this officer, what you want to do is let him go. No, it's very clear. Get close enough to him, get the tag number, record what his car looked like, and I'm telling you, break off the pursuit. Unless he's shooting at you or don't kill somebody, break off the pursuit. Catch him another day. Catch the car another day. Pin him in when he's not expecting you. That's what you do, officer, young man who wrote that comment. You don't chase him all through Prince George's County and to the District of Columbia, where he wrecks and damages people's property who had nothing to do with the pursuit. Inside that Uber car that he ran into was a passenger. She was sitting in the car the whole time. She didn't even get out. And I didn't want to record her because she had nothing to do with it. But you probably saw her silhouette when I walked by to show the car. What if she would have been killed? What if the driver of the Uber would have been killed in this pursuit? That you all orchestrated by turning on those berries and cherries in an unmarked car that has no police insignias on them. And if you listen to me tell him, he should have stopped. Don't get me wrong, he was wrong for running, especially when he seen all them other marked cars behind him. He should have stopped. It's not worth it, is what I'm saying, young man who wrote that comment. Because when you lay your head down at night and you got a child's death on your hand or an innocent bystander death on your hand, I guarantee you, you'll become a drunk or an addict, or you have some serious mental problems if you can't handle it. Stay tuned, y'all. I've been talking long enough, but I'm just telling y'all about this case and more to come about my case. But it is time we get serious about this country in this election and start voting people, not what they're saying, but we got to vote people in the office that got to prove themselves as they're ready to hold that office. Give them 4 years or whatever years. If they don't do what they say they're going to do, they should never be put in the office again. And this also Bright, never again. Because she is the individual, in my case, who was running the state attorney's office. They say she stole money, didn't pay taxes, that she wasn't supposed to. She's already proven she should never be in the Senate. Same thing with the old governor, same thing. He made Maryland a sanctuary state. Now he wants to backtrack on what he said. He should never be in office again. And that's just how it is. Same thing with police officers. When you have misconduct, you should never wear that badge again as a law enforcement person, carrying a gun and representing law enforcement again, in my eyes. And this is what we got to start doing. If you're a doctor and you malpractice and kill somebody because you didn't know what you're doing, you should never be able to operate and be a doctor on nobody again. I wouldn't even want you working in a clinic. You may get somebody the wrong medicine. Same thing with police. You should never be a security guard. In my eyes, you should have nothing to do with law enforcement again if you got misconduct on your record. And again, I believe we should have a civil complaint board with some power. That it is by lawyers, put some lawyers in there, some regular people in there to go over all the evidence like a trial and to find this person. If evidence shows there was misconduct, he should be terminated. He should never be able to be in law enforcement again. Same thing with judges. Just like in this case, when you blatantly violate somebody's right. Let me tell y'all something about these complaints. And I pay to be heard by a jury, not a judge. I pay to bring my facts into a courtroom and have my grievance heard, not by a judge. These individuals extorted money from me, stole my money, and then said, don't worry about it. Yeah, you bitch me. You bitch me. But now it's my turn. I'm going all the way up. And I'm going to show the people, if we keep doing this all the way to the top and start putting these corrupt judges out there, this is what we got to do to show people that they're corrupt. And I'm telling you, if you ain't been watching the YSL case about this black judge, you can clearly see he was on the prosecutor's side. And I'm thinking that same thing about this white judge we got in here. I'm just, you can clearly see that the prosecutors ain't got no case. They ain't got no case, but you're burning up taxpayers' dollars. There should have been a mistrial, not 45 motion for a mistrial, and we still ain't got no mistrial, y'all. Where there's no evidence. The woman was asking the most ridiculous questions from witnesses, and the witnesses don't even want to be there. And I got a case where I got black and white and recordings, and I can't even go into a courtroom because I got a terrorist who just extorted my money and says she ain't got subject matter jurisdiction. I ain't got no facts. I ain't got no evidence. Ain't this some shit? This is America, and this is what America has come, y'all. But the funny thing about it is this. It may not happen in my lifetime, but it's going to get straightened out. It's going to get straightened out. And go back to the Europeans when they came over to America, and the people over here said, we're not taking no more of this shit. And you saw a civil war break out. That's what it's going to take for America to get back on track again, in my eyes. Because we have allowed these individuals to infiltrate our government, and it's like a virus. And the only way you cure a virus is that you got to blood transfusion, start all over again. So, more to come, y'all. I know this is a long recording, but more to come. Our country, the United States, is in trouble. In trouble. And it goes with this case. You extorted money from me so that I can come into a courtroom and present evidence, and you said, fuck me. Okay, you did it twice. You get a chance to do it again because I'm about to file another lawsuit on the administrative judge who did the same thing. Denied me my right to a jury trial. I don't go before one judges. And all because I didn't use the assistance of counsel, and they're not going to let you, a layman, come in there and beat them at their own game. They're not. And this judge had ex parte meetings with these defendants. Make no mistake about that. They were calling her, they were talking to her, and I'm telling you, the only reason I received this right here is because I started calling the clerk of the court requesting what is taking place on my case. And that they were just sitting on it. And the reason is I had to press this issue is because there's a statute of limitation and I got to file other stuff. And thank you for sending me this. Now I get to file the other stuff. From this date, the 30th, starts my statute of limitation on all these clowns who violated my rights. Stand by. Oh, we're not going to file an appeal. They're not getting any more of my money like I didn't do the last time. I told you, I have the assistance of counsel. You know, you don't get one time, but to royally fuck me. Okay? And me filing another lawsuit don't mean I get fucked twice. But yeah, I did, but this is a different case. This is different shit. But I'm not going to go into an appeal course and pay $600 and have them fuck me too without grease. Because that's what they're doing to the American people. Anybody that files these lawsuits, I don't know if y'all heard in the first one, there was another young lady in there filing something, and she made the statement that this is one of the most corrupted federal courthouses around. They were talking about Greenbelt, and she told me to have good luck because she already told me you're not gonna get no fair trial up there in Greenbelt, Maryland. She already told me that, and I believe her. Okay, if I did, why did you send my shit to Baltimore? Why you send my shit to Baltimore, y'all? If it was about being fair, look at here, y'all. Why did you send my shit to Baltimore, Maryland? You see what I'm saying? Unbelievable. I see everything. I'm going to finish reading this over, and if I see somebody I think y'all should know about, I'm going to bring it back to y'all attention. Okay? Stay tuned. More to come.